May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be always acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a city that in the Jewish tradition is considered the meeting place of heaven and earth. It's a very important thought in relation to what we're hearing today in our Gospels and in all of our readings. On one side of the city, there is a procession entering. But it's not the procession that we heard about today. On one side of the city, there is a procession entering. It is Pontius Pilate. It is Pontius Pilate, the warlord, coming into the city. During the Jewish Passover, insurrection occurred quite often because the Passover is the story of the Exodus, of God saving the people and bringing them out of slavery in Egypt. And so it would stir up a lot within the people. And so Pontius Pilate was coming into the city. Imagine it, on his great war horse, with his legions coming behind him. The one who has all the earthly power. He comes into the city to make sure that nothing happens, and if it does, he's prepared to crush it. And on the other side of the city, there's another procession coming. Not on a war horse, but on a donkey. There's a man, this beautiful, beautiful person, this beautiful creation, the embodiment of God on earth, who's riding on a donkey, humble. The person who has come as king to the disciples today, he comes into the city bearing the word of love, bringing the word of justice, bringing the word of mercy and compassion. He too is coming in for the Passover. And when both of these processions end up converging in Jerusalem, like the convergence of two bodies of water, there's tumult, there's chaos, and in the end, there's death. But the gift that we see in the convergence of these two groups, these two persons, is that the convergence of heaven and earth are happening in real time in the city of God. And the gift in this message today is that in this convergence, underneath all of what is happening, as Jesus tells us, the stones will cry out. The stones will shout out. And as we see at the end of that week, the end of our Holy Week, the voice of God cannot be silenced. The voice of God has the last word. Amen.